We didn't even bother to put the RV back into storage this time because we are loaded up and ready to head out. Tennessee for Lauren's birthday, here we come.
Bouncing around like a rodeo. Bad girls wanna rock and roll. Yeah, we're kicking it. We're kicking it.
Well, we are here baking in North Texas, all hooked up, ready to go, and we are getting ready to head to Nashville, Tennessee. This was one of Lauren's personal requests because we're going to go and celebrate her birthday. We're going to go for about 4 or 5 days, hang out, do all the country music things. I busted out the boots and the hat and been around for the channel for a while, you know. So we are doing something a little bit unique today, and that is it's just further than I like to do in one day. So, 18 hours. I'm joking. It's not 18 hours. We're looking at about 10, 11-hour drive total from the North Texas area to Nashville, or at least to where we're going. And so what we're going to do is Lauren actually had to work today. It's a Monday. And I have a conference call I have to do. And so we're actually going to take off at like 6 o'clock at night. We're breaking every RV rule we possibly can. We're going to take off at about 6 o'clock. And from there, we're just going to go and stay at our new favorite thing, which is a Love's Overnight or a Love's RV Hookup in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Essentially, we're just going to get to the other side of Dallas. So with that, let's get Lauren back and let's hit the road. All right, well, we have made it to our first stop of this road trip up to Nashville. And shockingly for us, we're at a Love's. We used to do Cracker Barrels all the time. Now we're doing Love's all the time. So we don't have the solar system and all that on board yet. So that's a big reason why we're doing Love's is because we can do full hookups, which realistically, we're kind of boondocking light. So I'm plugged into electrical, but that's where that ends. I've got water in the tank. I'm not doing anything else. So you may ask yourself, Ryan, why did you wait to leave until like 7, 8 o'clock at night? So Lauren had to work a full day. She works 12-hour shifts. And it's about a 10, 11, possibly 12-hour drive, depending on Dallas traffic. So we decided to leave last night or tonight and knock off about 2.5 hours. So we've gone through Dallas, Plano, McKinney, all that. And we are actually in Sulphur Springs, Texas. So we are, like I said, about 2.5 hours on the road already. So now we have a more manageable drive day tomorrow, especially coming into a new RV park. We don't like coming in super late, so that we can kind of get settled, get the AC cranking, get everybody squared away, and then we can get some dinner. So with that, we're both very tired. So we'll see you guys right here early morning. Night-night. Well, good morning from where I left you. Got a good night's sleep once we got the RV cooled off. I will say, biggest downside of not having any kind of solar package or anything is the ACs can't run while we're on the road, so it takes a little bit longer for everything to actually kind of get situated. But we are getting ready to pull the slide in and get everything back on the hitch and get out of here. I say back on the hitch. We didn't actually come off the hitch at all. This site was the most level one we've been at the Love's. But at the end of the day, it was another great stay at a Love's, so happy that they have these for us. And now, we are making our way to Nashville, Tennessee. Country road, take me home. Also, this feels like an appropriate time to say this, but we are going to Hershey. So we are planning on being at the Hershey RV, world's largest RV show, Hershey RV show, whatever it's called, the one in Pennsylvania. It's our first time going to be there. Also, do us a favor. A longtime supporter of the channel, Brooklyn Bedding, RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding. They are going to be inside the Giant Center. I know we're going to go hang out there one afternoon for a little bit. We're only going to be there for a couple of days, so we're not staying for a very long time, but we're there for a good time. Anyway, if you're going, let us know. We definitely would love to see you. And just like that, we have made it to Nashville, Tennessee. Overall, the drive was okay. It had its challenges for some reason. Truckers weren't the best today. I got cut off a lot more than I normally do, but that kind of goes hand in hand, unfortunately. But tell you what, this site right here makes up for it amazingly. So we are staying at Nashville Shores. It's also got a water park and ski rentals and all water sports rentals, all kinds of stuff. So with that, we're tired. We're hungry. Lauren just went to go get some Italian food, so see you right here bright and early in the morning to take on Nashville. Well, good morning from Nashville Shores RV Park and accoutrement. Okay, so why do I say accoutrement? Because this is way more than just an RV park. I don't know that I completely understood what all it was, but there's a lot going on here. So there's a water park, there's an adventure ropes course, there's a bayside trail because I'm staring right at it. There's a whole clubhouse and things happening with games and other stuff happening over there. One of the bigger, and I'm not necessarily going to say better, but a very, very large dog park that seems to be pretty solid. There is fishing. You can rent water sports. What am I missing, babe? There's a lot of things going on here. So we're going to take you around, show you everything. And because our dogs dictate so much of what we do, we're going to start in the order they require us to start in. So dog park is up first. So this is one of the larger dog parks we've seen in a while. It goes significantly over there. There's a couple of tables. They have a dog pickup stand, obviously. There's only one gate, which I appreciate. I dislike dog parks that have like 5 gates. And you never know if one's going to accidentally open because we have an escapee artist. It's that one. Mishka, how do you like it? Okay, bye. Now, it is a little rocky and a little inclined, so that's kind of a downside, but it's not that big of a deal. So right off the bat, I will tell you that the RV park's not a second thought, but it's definitely not the primary. I don't honestly know what was built first, second, third, all of that stuff, but based on when we came in yesterday, the water park was just closing. It seems like there's more people here for the water park than necessarily for the RV. I think they built the RV park so that people that want to do the water park or hang out here for like a long weekend can just stay here on site. They do have cabins as well. I don't know where they are, and there's not all that many of them, but we'll find them at some point. So there are a couple of different categories for back-in sites. You have standard back-in sites or water view back-in sites, and then you have premium and regular waterfront back-in sites. So I believe we're premium. I could not honestly tell you what the difference is. Some of the sites get pretty close together. I'm guessing those are standards. Whereas you can see our travel trailer and truck there. There's a little bit more room between us and our neighbor, which I appreciate. So that gives you a little bit of an idea, maybe the difference between premium. I would call this an average size park. You know, there's a lot more sites over there closer to the water park in that kind of pull-through parking area. There's not as many, obviously, down on the waterfront. That's pretty typical of most RV parks. Some sites are pretty long, some are not. Ours said it was 55 feet. That's probably pretty accurate because we don't go all the way back, and we have a 30-foot RV and about a 22-foot truck. So we're about 55 feet, and I'm just right at the edge of where I come to the road. Now, I do have a little bit of a gap up there, and we do overhang just a touch all the way in the back there. So another thing to note is that the sites are not all created equally. Like you can see, that site right there actually has a spot where somebody's nicked the tree. Oops. Also, some of them have more of a slope, so everything wants to slope towards the water. Again, our site was pretty flat. The auto leveler did had to go a little bit to y'all's right, like that a little bit, just to kind of get it over there, but not much, not too bad. But it is a thing, so it does slope away. Some are going to be more level than others. I've also seen some that are pretty significantly sloped other directions. So as an FYI, just know that if you've got leveling blocks and that kind of stuff, you're probably in pretty good shape, but you may need to kind of look at that. All right, now let's take a look at our site individually. We'll kind of show you the perks of it and what comes with it, those types of things. So we are in site 33. It is a premium waterfront back-end site, and obviously the piece de la resistance is we're on the water. So premium sites all kind of come with something similar. Just how it's put together might be a little bit different. So concrete pad, again, ours was 55 feet. All the sites come with a picnic table, but then premium also comes with a fire ring, which, to be honest, we really won't use the fire ring, but they give you a little bit more room because of the fire ring. So for us, we have a back-end waterfront site. Now, there are a couple of different versions of waterfront sites. So we are on the fence line, which just means we're closer into this little bay here. So that's just the other side there. It goes where we were just at the dog park is almost the end of the lake there. There's a little bay. And so from here, the further down you go, there is a little bit of a beach area for some people, or an access point, I guess you could call it. There are sites that wrap all the way around this. And so down on that side, you can have a little bit more access to the water. We like to look at water. We're not a big fan of getting in, so we actually just stay. We like this because now we have this little fence line here, and you can see that there's a retaining wall of some kind too for the water as well. All sites come with electrical, water, and sewer, and on the electrical side you're going to have 50 amp, 30 amp, and a couple of 110s. Pretty standard full hookup campground stuff, nothing too fancy there. Also, there are bathhouses. We don't use them. We like to stay inclusive in our RV, so but that is an option. So if you are in a smaller trailer, or you have a lot of people taking showers and somebody needs to use a bathhouse, that does exist. It is pretty close to site 35. So if you're down on the far side, you may have to walk a little bit further to get up here. All right, so that's our site. We are now going to go wander a little bit and see what else this campground has to offer, and I just got blown out by the sun. Oops. I will say that it leans a little bit more towards it's a water park that happens to have a campground than necessarily anything else. And I just realized I'm on a dead end. Back I go. Only because they obviously cater pretty significantly to the water park portion. It's not a bad thing, just it's kind of one of those, I just want you to understand what you're getting into. We've only been here the one night, and so far we've absolutely loved it. Yes, during the day, kids running around having fun. I look at that as a good thing. It depends on you, as long as they're respectful once the evening comes around, and at least last night they were. Now, how is it on a weekend? We're not here on a weekend. We got in on a Tuesday, and we're leaving on a Friday. So I actually won't be able to tell you weekend kind of activities. So here in the what I'm calling the parking area is all the pull-through sites. You can kind of see they're not, I mean, they're very similar. I would actually argue these might be a little nicer. They seem to be a little more level. They have some inconsistencies, but I'm also seeing quite a few larger rigs, a lot of toy haulers up here, that kind of stuff. You know, if you're looking for an easy in, easy out. I don't know that it's a one night, overnight kind of a place, but it is definitely going to be easier to get in and out over here than it would be back where we are. One perk too is if you're staying here, you get discounted water park tickets and all of that stuff. So if you're looking to use those discounted tickets and stay here, just know if you wait till you get here, go into the camp store and purchase them, they're a little cheaper than buying them online. Resist the urge to buy water park tickets till you get here. All right, and I'm not going to walk all the way up there because it's a really long way to show one thing, but so the main entrance is down that way. The lakeside RV sites are that way, and then I'm right at the end of the kind of parking lot, and there's the water park. Just as a point of reference from where I'm standing, across the water park parking lot over there is actually the cabins. There are a few RV sites up there, but it's mostly cabins up there. So if you do need a cabin or want a cabin and stay here, that is an option. Or if you are bringing like friends and family and don't have enough room in their RV, there are some RV sites up there. It is very sloped on that side though. So I will tell you that it looks like the one RV I do see up there looks like it's pretty far up on the one on the right side. So just kind of be aware. So I've just been walking and making a big loop and checking everything out at the RV park. I'm actually kind of checking it out as we go. This is our first full day here in Nashville, first morning. Stay tuned to next week because we're going to do all the exploring. So if you're looking for hot spots to eat, things to do that we're allowed to record in, that's what next video is going to be about. So this is all about staying here and RVing here kind of a thing. Also, just so you have a point of reference, I'm walking on kind of the main in road. A lot of this no parking signs is because I'm guessing the water park can get busy on hotter days. Today's a hotter day, so they just don't want people parking right here because this is where the dog park actually is. All right, so this is the main area or entrance. That kind of toll booth looking thing I told you about is up that direction. So when you first come in, if you're in an RV and you're checking in, there's a lane on this far side over here that's cut out. That is where for RV can park to check in. So that's, you just kind of pull off to the side. This is the general store right here. Again, we'll go in there a little bit later once they're opened up. I'm up here pretty early running around doing stuff. And then this is also the entrance to the Treetop Adventure Park. So that's going to be the zip line and ropes course and all of that. So I'm just to the right of the store, and I'm going to go down these stairs here. This is the area they call the chill zone. They do that because, well, they have like frozen treats. It's kind of like an ice cream truck, but it's a building. But there's a lot of picnic tables out here. There's a playground for the kids. There's a go-go ball court. Goo-goo ball? However you say it, I'm not 100% sure. This is kind of a cool little area just because it's nice and shaded back here. In the evenings, it looks like they can light up their lights. I've heard that they've done live music out here. I'm guessing that person probably sits either like right here or right here. It's Nashville. You got to have some live music. But they have games out. They have a big Connect 4, some Adirondack chairs, picnic tables. All kinds of that stuff. So there's a circle drive that I'm actually in right now. This is where they want us to turn around. Not so sure about that. I mean, it's intriguing, but again, if you're a really long rig, we might be okay here, but I don't know. I'm going to bring the truck through and kind of pretend like it's something that I'm going to try and do with the RV and just see if it's even plausible. So also just behind the general store in that little area, you're going to have the lakeside trails. So they actually do have some trails that run along back over here. You can see on this map, not too bad. I'm not sure how long any of them are. I can't imagine they're too long. Another thing around this park you're going to see is a lot of the dog stations. So that's been nice seeing those. They've almost all had bags in them. They're a little low, but they do have them. So I'm sure that maybe they check them a couple of times a week and we're just on the edge of that. Okay, another thing, our RV's down that way. There's the general store up there. This is that circle drive I was talking about. Dog parks right there. There's another entrance just to the side of the trails. This is where you go if you want to rent any water sports, that kind of stuff. Throughout the day. So what can you rent? They have canoes, different versions of kayaks. I read stand-up paddle boards, but I haven't seen one yet. Looks like they have paddle boats. They have jet skis and more kayaks. All right, and now with the power of editing, we come to you 5-ish days in the future with our final thoughts after we've stayed here for a week. One eternity later.
Or like 2 days.
So we are officially wrapping up our time here. So we have fast forwarded in this video about 3-4 days, something like that. Yeah. So what is our overall view of Nashville Shores? I had to remember the name of it because it's been a minute since I said it.
So I like the campground. I don't think there was anything wrong with the campground at all. The sites are mostly nice, some of them a little unlevel, but no big deal for us. It was nice having the lake here. We were able to rent jet skis and paddle boards, and that was just a lot of fun. And so as far as the campground goes, I think it was great. Location, it's still a little
There's not a great RV park in Nashville to access downtown.
There's not. And so I can't fault it for that. It has the water park and the lake and several things going for it, but the location left a little to be desired.
I will say if you're a family and you want activities on property and you're looking for maybe a go into downtown Nashville once, great. It's
probably great.
We probably could have gone down there 4 or 5 times from here because we like coming back and checking on the dogs. And I don't like standing up and walking around downtown all day.
Right. So that's probably a tactical error on our part. I think that for the things we wanted to do, we didn't realize most of them were in downtown. Oops. Oh, well.
It happens. So, I mean, we got to do the things we wanted to do and see them. It just cost us a little bit more because we Ubered. Also, as a note, it's not the cheapest thing to park in downtown Nashville, especially if you have a larger truck like a dually.
It's tight.
So, just be aware, like the cheapest spot I could find with the dually was about $40 for the day. And I will say, too, there is a free parking across the pedestrian bridge. You are going to walk at least a half a mile, probably more, depending on where you're trying to get to in downtown. I don't know that it's free. It's part of the stadium there where the Tennessee Titans play. So again, if they're having an event there, that's not going to be an option.
Right. We didn't test that theory, but it was something that we considered. One of the reasons we didn't want to walk the half mile is because it's like 95, 98
Yeah.
degrees every day. It was a little warm for
So
us.
that's going to be situational based on the time you're here. But I will say we did Uber or Lyft down there every time we went. And it was one way, it was anywhere from $15 to about $30. Obviously, they have dynamic pricing. So depending on time, how busy they are, all that stuff. So would you stay here again?
Depends on what I'm looking to do. If I wanted to eat at the restaurants downtown and go to the Ryman, that sort of stuff, no, I would actually probably hotel it and just stay in downtown.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking for the camping experience or the family, yes, I would stay here again.
I would say if you're like full-timers, so obviously we're part-timers now, so we have options. But if you're a full-timer and you don't have a choice as far as a hotel, you need to stay in your rig because of kids, animals, whatever.
Yeah.
I would say, and we don't know anything about it, but there's a KOA, Music City KOA, and then Twin Rivers or two Rivers, something like that.
Two Rivers, I think.
It's up by the Grand Ole Opry. It is closer to things. Not all the things.
Not all the things.
But it is next to the Opry House that if you wait till next week's video, you'll see. And there's also Opry Mills, which is like a mall, essentially, and a bunch more restaurants and those types of things. So there are RV parks closer to things, just not necessarily downtown. You may also be able to get downtown a little bit more efficiently.
Maybe. We didn't try it.
We didn't try. You have the option of taking the back roads. Here we had to take 40 and 440, which are interstates, and so they got a little busy.
They were never not busy.
So
That's okay.
thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have questions, leave them down below, and we'll do our best to answer them to the best of our ability.
You will.
I will. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week when we tour Nashville itself.
Bye, Mom.